Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon, and welcome to the EAC Show from sunny South Florida. We're actually shooting in EAC Studios for the first time. As you can see in the background, I'm here inside the studios for the first time in a long time, recording inside of EAC Studios located here in Fort Lauderdale, Coral Springs, Florida. So excited to be shooting inside the studio for the first time in a long time. It's been at least, probably 15, 16 episodes since the last time myself and Marcus was in here. So much to talk about. Basically, what I'm going to do on today's show, today's going to be the MLB Takeover Show. And the MLB Takeover Show is basically discussing, who's in first place, who's performing well in Major League Baseball, who's not doing too hot. A couple of other things that's been going on in Major League Baseball, as well as there's been a couple of instances to where unwritten rules are being cast upon players, and whether you should swing 3-0 or whether you should be throwing at somebody or whatever it may be. So there's certain things that are going on in Major League Baseball right now that people are sitting there and they're criticizing and complaining about. And this episode basically is titled, let them play. Let them play baseball. That's basically what this new era and what everybody in Major League Baseball going forward wants to do. They want to be able to play. They want to be able to show emotion, not worried about getting thrown at, not worried about, repercussions or punishments or whatever it may be. So we're going to discuss a little bit about that stuff, and we're going to talk about some of these old heads that they get ass hurt over, the way baseball is not being played anymore. And it's, look, your days are long gone. We respect it. You led the way, but in all actuality, it's time for the game to grow and the game to move on, and this is where it's going to go. I mean, emotion, passion, some type of excitement. You guys call it hot dog, and we don't call it hot dog, and it's just telling it like it is, the way we feel. So in all actuality, we'll discuss a little bit about that as well. First off, I want to get into the fact that we're going to talk about some of these teams that are actually top of their division. So in the American League, in the East, you got the Boston Red Sox. In the Central, you got the Chicago White Sox. In the West, you got the Oakland A's. So the Boston Red Sox have been shocking to me. Unbelievable. Shout out to them. Their manager, Alex Cora, has been doing an amazing job. Whether cheating or he's not fucking cheating, who cares? It doesn't matter to me. You play baseball in between the lines. So they have to pitch. They have to hit. You have to beat them. You have to stop them. So in all actuality, for me, I think the Boston Red Sox are doing an amazing job leading a very, very competitive American League East, which has the Tampa Bay Rays, it has the Toronto Blue Jays, it has the New York Yankees. The only team in that division that doesn't do shit is the Baltimore Orioles. So congratulations to the Boston Red Sox. Through 43 games are actually in first place. Not by much, only by half a game or game and a half. That whole division is kind of tight because those are quality teams in that division. But the Boston Red Sox are showing up, and they are coming to play. Their pitching is standing up, and their hitters are doing what they're supposed to do. Now, you got in the Central, you got the Chicago White Sox, who are leading the way by 2.5 games on the Cleveland Indians. That's going to be a two-team race between those two. It's either going to be the White Sox or the Indians, depending on who doesn't get hurt, who stays healthy, who hits, who doesn't hit, who pitches, who doesn't pitch. So between those two teams, I think it's going to be the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, with me picking the Chicago White Sox to lead the division. Now, to address a little bit what's going on in that division, in that team, Chicago White Sox, just recently, Yerman Mercedes, who's been having an amazing year. This is his first year in the big leagues, playing catcher, playing DH for the White Sox, has been batting all over, hitting the ball out the park, all over the field, you name it. Amazing story. Never been in the majors his whole career. Finally gets there. Just recently ended up hitting a 3-0 pitch over Willian Ansandio, I believe his name is, who's also a catcher, third baseman, outfielder, whatever he wants to play. He's a position player that basically came into a blowout and basically threw a lollipop, 49-mile-an-hour pitch, 3-0, that Mercedes hit for a home run. And Mercedes' manager, who's old school, Tony La Russa, Hall of Famer, no question about it, helped develop the foundation of this game and is part of the cement of baseball and this, that, and third, got upset because he gave Mercedes the 3-0 take, and Mercedes ignored it and hit a home run. Now, from a player to a coach's standpoint, you're not supposed to disrespect your coach. Coach sits there and gives you the take sign, man. Just take the fucking take sign. Just take it. In this situation, I don't mind it as much because Mercedes doesn't know if he'll ever play in the major leagues ever again. This is the first time here. He has to make his mark on baseball. He has to. If he doesn't, he's not going to play. It's that simple. You're replaceable. He's not Jose Abreu. He's not Tim Anderson. He is a journeyman. This is his first year in the major leagues. You have to be able in some way, shape, or form to make your mark on Major League Baseball. And Mercedes is trying to do that. He's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying, hey, listen, if the White Sox don't see me somewhere, maybe somebody else will. I don't have no problem with homie trying to make sure that his name rings bells to be able to provide for him and his family. So, Mercedes, if you got to take a 3-0 fastball for 49-mile-an-hour pitch out the fucking park to provide for your family, then so be it. In all actuality, Tony La Russa should have handled it completely different. He should have been like, look, I think he missed the sign. I ordered him to take it. He didn't take it. I'll talk to him. It is what it is, and just leave it at that. The way that Tony La Russa has handled it doesn't represent the way that the fucking players in the Chicago White Sox organization want to play baseball. Tim Anderson has absolutely no problem with homie hitting a 3-0 fastball. You throw it up there, I'm going to smack that shit. It's that simple. And that's what people need to understand. You're putting on a product, and I'm putting on a product. As a pitcher, as a hitter, I got to do what I got to do. Inside that box, listen, the coaches don't help you. On that mound, the coaches don't help you when it's just you and the person you're facing. So if you want to throw some lob shit up there, I'm going to smack that shit 400 feet over the fence. It's just that simple. So then we're going to go to the American League West. And the American League West has the Oakland A's leading that division over the Houston Astros. Houston Astros are a game and a half behind. Oakland went on a really, really hot run. I think they won like fucking 13 games early in the season. They're 26-17. Houston is on their tail. It's going to be a two-team race in that division as well. The Houston Astros should be doing more, in my opinion, but they're not. And it makes you wonder whether it was the cheating that was helping them immensely. You know, they're banged up. They're banged up pitching-wise. They're extremely banged up pitching-wise, but normally the Houston Astros are running away with this division, and Oakland is usually making the wild card. So if you think about it, you know, the simple fact that Oakland is in first place and Houston is in second with not being able to cheat, you can question it if you want. But those two teams are going to be a two-team race. So the American League East, in my opinion, is the most competitive league in the American League. You got the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians in the Central, and then you got the Oakland A's and the Houston Astros in the AL West. So now we're going to go to the National League East, which is my division, my fucking division. And my New York Mets lead the division by one game over the Philadelphia Phillies with 20-16. We are the most injured team in all of Major League Baseball. We have Jacob deGrom, who's hurt. Michael Conforto's hurt. Jeff McNeil is hurt. Oh, Kevin Pillar just got plunked in the fucking face with a fastball straight in his nose, destroyed all of this. Thank God he's okay. Thank God Kevin Pillar's okay. Everybody on my team in some way, shape, or form is hurt, injured. McCann is hurt. JD Davis is hurt. JD Davis is hurt. Like, everybody on the New York Mets is hurt, and we're still in first place. So shout out to the boys, the irregulars, the bench mob, whatever you want to call them. Villar, Nito. I'm trying to think. There's so many guys that are contributing off the bench, making it happen. Peraza. All of those guys are getting it done in some way, shape, or we're calling a bunch of young guns up. Khalil Lee. We're making it happen. It is what it is. Any way to get a win, you got to get a win. This is what you call baseball. Guys go down. Guys step up. They do their jobs. It's that simple. It is what it is. The game hasn't changed since you were playing it when you were a little kid. Go out there and show out. And if you go out there and show out, you get the result you deserve. So that's what the New York Mets are doing right now. We got so many guys that are hurt. Most guys that are hurt in all of Major League Baseball, and we're still playing good baseball. So shout out to my boys, the Amazings. I'm very, very happy and proud of you guys. Let's keep it up. So like I said, you got them, the Philadelphia Phillies, who are playing a little bit better baseball, and the Atlanta Braves. The Phillies have Bryce Harper, so that's hurt, that's tough, that sucks. But you know, they got to do the same exact shit. You got to play to win the game. Atlanta's a little bit disappointing. Atlanta hasn't figured it out yet. If Acuna's hitting the ball, everybody else ain't hitting. But then if Freddie Freeman and if Riley's hitting, then Acuna's not hitting, because Acuna's actually playing kind of banged up too, so you could give him a pass. He's playing with a sore fucking ankle. But that pitching staff hasn't been what it's used to. Swanson's not really hitting. Ozuma's not really hitting the ball like you're used to as well. So Atlanta has the ability to change things, but they haven't done it just yet. They're actually, I think they're 4 games behind the New York Mets for first place. So in the NL Central, you got the St. Louis Cardinals. They're always the epitome of that division. They usually lead that division. The Cubs always gives them probably a run for their money, or the Milwaukee Brewers. Everybody else is just, it's whatever. I mean, you had the Reds that were hot for a little while, but they started to cool off. But Cincinnati's doing their thing. They're 24-18. They're just a solid organization all around. But they're the most blandest, boring organization, in my opinion. I don't knock the baseball that they play. The baseball they play is amazing. Fundamentals. They do what they're supposed to do. They handle their business from a baseball perspective. But they're like chicken with no seasoning. They're like steak that just is, it's bland. It's just, it's awful. It's shit. So from an appealing standpoint, the St. Louis Cardinals, in my opinion, is boring. But from a baseball standpoint, they're everything you want in a team. They're everything you want in a team. It's like the Green Bay Packers in fucking football. They're good to play the game, but everything else is just like, do you really want to be here, or do you really want to watch this shit? Sometimes even the commentators just put you to sleep. Like, you want a snooze fest? Listen to the St. Louis Cardinals commentators call a game. You'll definitely go to sleep, I promise you. In the NL West, we got the San Francisco Giants, who lead the division, which is shocking to me. It's crazy. I always thought it was going to be between the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres, but the Giants with Gabe Kapler and everybody that's out there, Buster Posey, Longoria, dude, some of the guys on the pitching staff, I guarantee you couldn't even fucking name other than Cueto, but they're getting it done, so shout out to them in a very, very tough National League West. The Dodgers have been they're taking a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a hit, even though they have a really good pitching staff between, Bauer and Kershaw and Buehler and Reyes, and, May just got Tommy John surgery. He's going to get Tommy John surgery, so hopefully he gets healed up pretty quick. But the Dodgers are the epitome of that division. That's their division. They win it almost every year. So to see San Francisco and San Diego actually doing something in that division, it's kind of intriguing. It's good for fucking baseball, because that's exactly what we need to see. We need to see these guys making shit happen. So it's good for the sport. It's good for the game. Now, also, there's a couple of other things in Major League Baseball that just rubs me the wrong way. You can't get mad at what's been part of the game since the very beginning. Look, the game polices itself the majority of the time. So for the instances earlier that I was talking about with Mercedes, when the Twins come back and they hit Mercedes, look, they hit Mercedes the right way. They hit Mercedes low, down, below the waist, send them a message like, look, that shit ain't fucking cool. Don't be swinging at no 3-0 fastball with a position player on the fucking on the mound, and you guys are up by a lot. Like, he threw at him, but he threw at him with no intent to do any damage whatsoever to hurt him at all. So that's always been part of the game. So in a sense, you can't be too upset when that gets done, because it's being done the right way. There was no head hunting. There was no fastball up and in. It was literally a fastball that was below the waist, hit him in his rear end, his legs, or whatever it may be. It was nothing that was going to do any real bodily harm to Mercedes. Now, I'm not getting thrown at with whatever 90 or whatever being thrown at me, but if that's the case, you just eat it and you walk to first base. It is what it is. You can't get too upset. So I think the way Tony La Russa is handling it with his own team, I think it's not right, because I think Tony's out of touch with the youth movement that he has on his squad. But I do understand when Tony sits there and he talks about the unwritten rules of the game and certain things that you do and do not do. Mercedes should have never shook off or ignored his coach giving him a sign. I would never tell any youth player to do that. My son, my son, when he has one, my grandson, I would never tell any player to ignore your coach when a coach is giving you a sign. That's his job. That's his job. He's the one that makes the lineup. He put you in the lineup. He could take you out of it for ignoring the sign. So I would never make that suggestion. But I would also explain to La Russa, that this isn't, 1990, and you're not coaching the Oakland A's anymore. It's 2021. You got to get with the times. You got to start realizing that, these guys play with emotion, they play with passion, they play with excitement, and this is part of the game now. You hit a bomb, I'm bat flipping. I strike a guy out in a key crucial jam, I'm going to scream and I'm going to yell just to hype up my team. I'm going to show passion and emotion when it's the seventh inning and I go, first to third, or I go from second to home and we take the lead. It's going to happen. I'm gonna fist bump. It's just that's where the game needs to go. The game needs to go to that level and play with that emotion, that passion, that energy, that excitement. It needs to go like that because this isn't the Mickey Mantle days. It's over. It's done. Baseball needs to grow, and in order to grow, you have to accept that type of stuff. So I really do hope they do, and I hope some of these old ass people, they understand it. They get it. Like, they sit there and say, look, man, it's a young man's game now. I'm going to try to enjoy it as much as possible. I can sit there and I can give my opinion, obviously, because that's their opinion, but it's their game now. It's their game. It's their game. It's their way of showing, look, this is my product. I'm going to show you what I got. If you can hit it, kudos to you. If you can't, fuck out of here. Go sit down, go have a seat on the bench. So, in all seriousness, I'm all for what these new guys are doing today. I applaud it because it's real. It's real baseball. You go on a Sunday league and you see that shit. I promise you'll see that shit. You'll see guys getting it in, happy as hell, You might even see guys, smoking cigs in between innings, it's the growth of the sport, man. It really is the growth of the sport. So, for me, I think it's good. I think it's a win. I think it's a plus. And I want to see more of it, I want to see more of, Bauer having antics on the mound when he strikes somebody out. I want to see more of Tim Anderson bat flipping and Tatis bat flipping as well. I want to see all of that. It attracts. It brings something to Major League Baseball that isn't there. It isn't there. You're not grasping the audience. It really isn't. Oh wow! Look what he's doing, dude. Stop! Like, shut the fuck up! Like, let them have fun. It's a game. They're playing a game. They're playing a kid's game for money. Let them have fun. Real talk. Let's just be honest. I mean, let's just be real. What Shohei Ohtani is doing in Anaheim, in Los Angeles, is insane. The guy's an elite pitcher. He's an elite bat. He should be displayed to the masses. People should be talking about this even more. This is such a hard thing to do, and I think people are overseeing how hard this is to do. Like, you could be a really good pitcher. You could be a really good hitter. He is doing both. This needs to be like everywhere. This needs to be leading headlines on every newspaper, website, you name it. Like, media center. Like, you need to be talking about this nonstop. And the simple fact that it doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, shows that Major League Baseball does a disservice to its sport. It's extremely hard to strike 10 guys out and have an ERA of 2 and lead the major leagues in home runs and bat 260 or something like that, or whatever the fuck he's batting in major leagues. Like, he's doing some shit that it's never seen before. Or if it was seen by my father's father who died how many years ago. Like, this is ridiculous. The Major League Baseball needs to do a better job of marketing the sport. Period. I don't care whether you want to be marketed or not. Fly a freaking Amazon Web Services drone around the guy that doesn't want to be marketed. So what? It's your job, Commissioner Rob Manfred, to protect the Major League Baseball shield. And if you don't, then get somebody else that's willing to do it, because we need the exposure. It needs to be seen. People need to see what the hell is really going on, because we're enjoying it. We're having a good time. Shit that's going on in the stands and all types of fun that's being happened, all that needs to be seen. All that needs to be seen. You need to embrace the content creators of this generation, because those content creators, they get it. They got it figured out. The guy that catches the foul ball, Zach Ample, I believe his name is. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. You need to embrace him, Major League Baseball. Give him a job. He goes out there, he literally teaches people how to interact with people in Major League Baseball, catching foul balls, giving handing out foul balls, giving kids experiences that they could never imagine. An 8-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, girl, boy, whatever it may be, he's catching a foul ball and handing it to him and sitting there saying, here. Do you know what that does to that kid? You know what that does to that kid? That kid can sit there and talk about the experience that they had. So I think Major League Baseball needs to figure out a way to get some of these content creators to come in and either work for them or give them advice on how to connect with an audience. Because it's kind of sad when a lot of these content creators have more subscribers or more views than Major League Baseball does. That shows you this disconnect right there. So in my opinion, Major League Baseball, figure it out, do a better job. All of these old school rules and stuff like that, we get it that was how, the game was built. But going forward, the game is going to change in some way, shape, or form, Like, people get mad, oh, bring back old school baseball, forget this fucking, double inning or a double header, 7-run inning shit. Yo, look, man, in all honesty, for the welfare and the betterment of the players, yo, I promise you they don't mind playing 7-inning double headers. They don't mind it. You got to get the job done quicker. That's all it is. But, some people, they get mad because they feel like it's not real baseball. Starting the guy at second base. It's like, yo, man, nobody really wants to watch a 16, 17 inning game. Because after the 11th or 12th, motherfuckers are just trying to hit home runs. That's all they trying to do. So, in all actuality, I'm okay with some of the rule changes and some of the things that they're making. But I'm also respectful and mindful of the opinion of some of the people that came before us that laid the foundation to this game. So you can say what you want, that's fine, and I respect it, but I can also disagree with you, and I actually respect the same thing. So that's going to conclude episode, the MLB Takeover. Let us play. Rob Manfred, get on your ass, do what you're supposed to do, and let's see Major League Baseball prosper in this year. And guys, make sure you click like, subscribe on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. All the engagement on social media has been so welcoming and appreciated. And we'll see you next episode. Appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Recording has stopped.